people are hearing these stories about different types of larceny and different types of burglaries and car break-ins and are getting really scared about their own personal safety. And this is something that you and I have struggled with talking to people about, because you never want to discount somebody's very real fears. The fact is that statistically, crime does seem to be going down in Connecticut. Why do you think we're getting this palpable kind of fear from people?
Through my work with survivors of crime and law enforcement regularly to create meaningful interventions and solutions to creating increasing public safety and decreasing crime. Crime continues to be politicized. So I think when we're hearing about it at alarming rates and law enforcement are telling us crime rates are going down, the math isn't mathing, right? Crime can exist and be incredibly impactful on people who experience it and still be going down, which means that there are solutions and reforms that are working. We have to have honest conversations about what's working and what's not to move things forward and to craft impactful legislation. If we're not even willing to come to the table and talk about facts, then nothing is going to work.
The fact is that we do have certain policies. We have lots of policies in Connecticut in place right now that are reducing crime. But that means nothing, like you said. That means nothing to somebody who has been the victim of a crime. And I think one of the best things that we can do from a political standpoint is promise people who have been victims of crime that we are taking honest steps based on evidence that will work to try to prevent crime from happening to other people in the future. You can't take back the fact that somebody has been affected by criminal activity. We just have to do our best, honestly, to try to make it better.
So there are two things that I will say to that. One of them is I don't actually think we need to make promises. I think we need to center the voices of directly impacted people. So when we're crafting policy and legislation, we bring survivors of crime to the table. And what we hear, and this is my second point, whenever I talk to someone who's experienced crime in my personal life, in my professional life, the feedback I get from them is they don't want this to ever happen again. They don't want this to happen to anyone else. And they don't want the person who harmed them to harm anyone else. We know what can address that directly. We work with survivors of crime and advocacy groups to craft legislation. We work with law enforcement, and we work with people that have been directly impacted by the criminal legal system to craft real solutions. Instead of vilifying people, instead of flat out lying about what's working and what's not, we have real solutions because we're focused on real problems and we're bringing directly impacted people into the center. Directly impacted people are closest to the problem and are closest to the solutions, but often don't have the power to implement those solutions. And that's one of the reasons I'm running for office, is because it's about time people had the mic when it comes to these conversations. Systems work for us.